There's this innate nature of mankind that has to compare and rank. Sometimes it happens organically and is necessary for order and organization. Hierarchies, ranks, they have purpose. Other times it's a futile discussion that inevitably ultimately feeds egos and inevitably dismisses key parties that should be considered. And for those of us on the sidelines spectating and debating, it's just a fun way to pass time and sometimes feed our own egos by displaying how much we think we know and how our tastes might be better than someone else. Anyway, let's talk about the best rapper in Texas all time.
Scarface,
Man,
one of my favorite MCs of all time.
one of the most underappreciated MCs of all time.
I would say probably the one, either one or two on the most underappreciated MCs of all
Yes.
time.
Oh no, he's up
He doesn't
there.
pop
In
up in the
terms-
top
He's up there for
five
me.
as
No,
much
he's
as he
up-
should.
He's in my top 10 every time.
Fuck with Nas, man, and Scarface. They'll lead you in the right place.
And it's like I hit him with, hey man, you one of my favorite, rappers. I just got to tell you that. He say, well, that's funny because she and my favorite rappers in here. And he pointed at you and Scarface. I thought that was dope. I say that's crazy,
You're a
man.
solid nigga, man. You're a solid nigga. Always been solid with me. I can't speak for nobody else, but
We get in the video right here. We get in the debate. Say there is no clear-cut best rapper. But I'll cut straight to the chase. We can turn the video off right now if you like. Gun held in my head and I had to pick, then my answer would be Scarface. For a number of reasons. Drop in the comments below who you believe is the GOAT of Texas. For me, I'm gonna say Scarface. It's just the easiest answer to go with. Impact being number one. He wasn't the first rapper in Texas, but he made the biggest early impact. He's got the respect and veneration of his rap god peers like Jay-Z and Nas. Biggie and Tupac both reportedly had great respect for Face. He did a song with Pac posthumously, still did it. And beyond that, Face is just dope. Probably has some of the greatest opening lines in rap history. Another funeral is over, and all the tears are dried up. Niggas remain violent. All the killers remain silent. And strapped with 4.5s and they ain't smiling. And of course, at night I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Candlesticks in the dark, visions of bodies being burned. Four walls just staring at him. I'm paranoid, sleeping with my finger on it. Who starts off like that? Okay, I started small town, dope game, cocaine, pushing rocks on the block. I'm never broke, man. Face, man, come on. I can go on and on. And I'm sitting there, as I'm sitting there talking about it, it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that he is the GOAT, but not too much on Face. We gonna talk about all the rappers in Texas. Face has never released a bad album, ever. Go through his catalog. If anybody wants me to break down his catalog, please say so in the comments. We could do a whole nother video on that. I plan on doing that. Let's be objective. It's not about who's the favorite. Now, if you were to add favoritism to it, I got to go with Pimp. Okay, Pimp C. He had the impact. He has the catalog. Of course, you can say Bun was better technically, but even Bun has said that the UGK sound, the musical landscape, was all shaped by Pimp. And let's not slouch on Pimp's actual lyrical prowess now either. He could spit when he really wanted to. You can just tell. You can tell that wowing people with his lyrical dexterity wasn't his top priority. He wanted to make you feel something. He was trying to make you jam. I did mention Bun. And on a technical note, he is in rare areas, very short list, very, very short list of rappers who can hang with Bun. Let's just say that. Now, when you talk about the King of Texas, most of us, and sometimes myself included, I can't lie, tend to turn our minds to Houston. Some would say the King of Houston would automatically be Texas, would be King of Texas, and of course, Face don't count. Okay, I said Face, but we're gonna talk about who else could claim the crown of Houston to make themselves the possible GOAT of Texas, right? If and this is just speaking hypothetically or speaking to a talking point that some people have. If the king, the GOAT of Texas, runs through Houston, who's the king of Houston?
Quiet Money Die. Who are your three favorite Houston rappers?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Don Key, Fat Pat. I'm gonna need photos. I gotta go with that poke in that house, man. For sure.
All right, so Face don't count. Face is the emeritus. Just like he had an album called Emeritus. I know what it means because I'm a church boy, and you would have in churches the pastor emeritus. That was the pastor who would have retired but still maintain that honor, right? So that's what Face is. Face is the emeritus, and that was and we're not gonna break down Face's discography, but that Emeritus album was dope. Came out in 08. But yeah, he emeritus, a person, often a professor or professional who has retired from their primary duties but honorably retains their title for life. It indicates a distinguished career and continued association with an institution. It is not automatic upon retirement, but awarded to honor long-term service. Okay, so yeah, that's what that means. So Face is the emeritus. Okay, who's the king of Houston? Now, to me, having spent considerable amount of time in Houston, not from Houston, but spent a considerable amount of time in Houston as a kid, king of Houston is Kiki. I say it. King of Houston is Kiki. SUC is the institution. If SUC is the dominant institution in Houston, SUC was basically built on the backs of Pat, Mike D, Kiki. Mike D was like a fan favorite. Matter of fact, I know somebody who I know quite a few people that Mike D is their absolute favorite rapper. I could always tell, even as a kid, hearing Mike D was really truly a street guy just rapping. You could hear it, and then his voice is dope. Don't get me wrong, Mike D had a dope voice that just penetrated. You knew it was Mike D. You know it's Mike D when he on, because he just got that voice. But he wasn't Pat. Pat was a street guy too, rapping, but Pat was a pro on that mic. Unfortunately, he passed away, so we never got to see the full potential. Kiki was his rival / rhyming partner, and Kiki's still alive, and he's still putting out good music. Some would say, like OT, Mexican OT mentioned Paul Wall. Well, Paul Wall direct influence. When Paul Wall really started hitting the scene, he sounded like Kiki. You can hear a lot of Kiki in Paul Wall. You can hear it. Of course, you got Slim Thug. Slim Thug, he can claim the crown so if we got SUC as the dominant institution, you also got Swisha House as another dominant institution. RIP Watts and Screw, of course. If you got Swisha House as another dominant institution, the most successful artist out of Swisha House is Slim Thug. Is it not? So he can also somewhat claim the crown as King H-Town for many reasons. He's, He's a boss. He's a boss. Boss Hog Outlaws is an institution. Killer Corleone Killer Corleone, he came out from the SUC camp as well, but he really made his name with Swisher House with Boss Hog Outlaws. Corleone is another beast, a monster on the mic.
Yo, ain't get along, but I'm 20 up. Cartier cost 20 plus. One Cuban cost $20. One phone call, get them suited up. New bitch, cause the old hoe wasn't cute enough. Son up, do the millionaires when it goes down. I'ma do the bus like a deep nigga. I'm a G nigga.
Still a lot to be desired from him, but we know Corleone can rap his ass off. Thug puts out good music. Don't get me wrong. He really don't make bad music at all. He really makes, like, damn near, like, objectively speaking, he's always gonna make some good riding music. But there's just something, and there's just, I mean, hey, he's got a huge fan base for a reason. He's been consistent for a reason. It's just and I don't want to bring my own personal, just in a journalistic. I don't want to bring my personal things, but I like Slim Thug, but there's just always something missing with his music. No depth, not the depth that someone would be looking for, and that's okay. Nothing against Thug, man. I don't want to be critical on this again. So that's why that's why it's hard to rank. That's why that's why ranking and all that becomes sensitive, because I don't want to take that from Slim Thug. Slim Thug, he can rap better than I can. Shit, that's all I can say. Honorable mentions out there: King H-Town, Chamillionaire. Of course, he's more notable for his out of the booth extracurricular things, making money in the tech world. In that aspect, he's definitely one of the biggest in Houston. We not pocket watching, but anyway, Chamillionaire, he had one of the biggest mixtape runs of that mixtape era. His fan base is like cultish, SPM, another cult-like figure. But there again, these, for whatever's worth, the situations that and the circumstances and the decisions that were made, they can't claim to be king of H-Town. Chamillionaire, SPM. You got K-Rino. K-Rino is a name that might miss a lot of casual fans, but if you know. He arguably could be the actual best technician of a rapper in Houston. If you're going off pure lyrical wizardry, K-Rino is that guy. Now, he raps in concepts, comic books. He raps in sci-fi. He storytells front and backwards. Go listen to K-Rino. It's not for low vibrational listening. I say it's not passive low vibrational listening. I say that.
Man, who is this calling me? Oh man. Hello, is this K? Yeah, who is this? We ain't never met before, Playboy. My name is Chris. I don't know what's going on, but I figured I'd take the risk. I got your number from Cynthia's phone contact list.
Homeboy, is you serious? Why you calling me then? This sounds like a conversation you and her need to be in. See, insecure dudes like you let women drive them.
If I find out where you at, I promise it's gonna be a problem.
Oh man, is this the part where I'm supposed to panic? Yeah. You talking to a grown man, boy, skip the semantics.
What?
Never mind, let's talk and get it clear.
Ain't nothing to talk about, we've been engaged for a year.
Well, if that's the case, I suggest that y'all should get therapy. Secondly, lower your voice, cause all that loudness ain't scaring me. And although you wasn't aware of me, if my name and numbers in her phone, apparently it was saved there voluntarily.
He's gonna make you think and rewind and think and rewind, and it's not always the most palatable for the casual rap fan, right? Then you have someone who is directly influenced and has said such himself from K-Rino is Zero. Zero, the out of SUC, or a baby of the child of SUC, Southside, but and then aligned with Rap-A-Lot, but he's independent. One Deep, Mr. One Deep, King of the Ghetto. And he's in the fullness of time. You know, he came on the scene and almost, if he came out, 98, 99, by 2003 and 4, when I really started paying attention to Z-Ro and getting familiar with his stuff, he had already developed a stupid, crazy cult following. Like, when I discovered him, I was taken aback. I was shocked. I was bewildered and fascinated by. That was one of the first examples of someone that was one of the first examples for me that there could be someone who exists in their own world and has a massive fan base, and you know nothing about them. I didn't know nothing about Z-Ro until my partner Big Cliff introduced me to him. I had heard he had introduced me to him, but I had heard the music, but I didn't pay attention. It had just missed me. And then once I got privy to him, like, oh, this dude is dope, stupid dope, and a lot of people seem to think so. He was one of the first ones that I noticed that the really captured the Hispanic culture or Hispanic fan base, and that here in Texas, that's essential for. I mean, that's just this inescapable, essential part of growing a fan base. It's getting the Mexican Latino fan base, and that applies to Z-Ro, and then one of his rapping partners is Flip. Can't forget Flip. You know, I found Z-Ro fans in every part of the country that I've ever been to. Same with Flip. Flip is another one who captured the Mexican Latino fan base. And I still put Flip up there as the best freestyler in Texas, if not in the rap game, period. So anyway, man, we can go through all that. And then of course we can go to Dallas. So DOC is another one. And when it comes to Dallas, I mean, there's some notable rappers that come out of Dallas. Mr. Pookie, Mr. Lucci. But of course the king of Dallas when it comes to rap, even though he's from there and he very much so reps Dallas, DOC. Now he made his career in LA. His style wasn't, his style was his style, so it couldn't be confined to a region at all as far as his sound. But it was a lot of West Coast. But the West Coast was influenced by the South and vice versa. We can get into that Texas-California connection. That goes deep to the great migration and all that type of stuff. But anyway, DOC, King of Dallas, and his pen is in rare company, so he did very well, and his pen helped. I mean, let's talk about, man. Let's spend a little time on DOC real quick. So yeah, of course, no one can do it better. But that Helter Skelter album, though, that Helter Skelter album '96. That's a sleeper of an album. We're not gonna get into his but yeah, Mr. DOC, Mr. Tracy Lynn Curry, and I got family in Dallas, and I got family that 6 degrees of separation is there with DOC. That Helter Skelter album, though, a sneaky good album. A lot of people don't know about that one, man. That's you could hear the pain, like he's struggling on it. Like if you ever heard DOC talk, that's how he was rapping with that, because his vocal cord is stripped. But man, that Helter Skelter album is pretty dope. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to get back into it. We won't say DOC is the king, the GOAT of Texas, but he definitely one of the GOATs. And DOC is another one, man. He could have been the GOAT. He probably would have been the GOAT. But we're not going to talk about woulda, coulda, and shoulda. The fact of the matter is that his career was cut short. And it's unfortunate because he was dope. He was real dope. He was real dope. But we're not going to call DOC the GOAT. I mean, but Zero, his career, man, you know, I think I've covered that before, man. Me personally, he's definitely my top 5. I'm not even gonna get into that. Maybe I'll do a video on who my top 5 GOAT rappers are. Zero's in my top 5. And oh man, as I'm sitting here, I mean, as far as if we going off, okay, now don't get me wrong, K-Rino has a K-Rino has a discography that's out of this world as well, and that's who Zero always credits as one of his predecessors, or as one of his mentors, or one of his, what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration. All right, look at these albums he's put out. These are K-Rino's albums. Going from 98. How many albums is this? So his output, his prolific nature is insane. And let's see, Zero. But Zero's discography is pretty massive as well. Zero's output has been pretty. Now some of these are like compilations and stuff like that. But Zero has and it's just noted and reported of his output. And he said on a podcast that I saw maybe 2 or 3 years ago that he had 26 albums that were unreleased. 26 albums that weren't released. That was 2 or 3 years ago. And if he has maintained the output of, 3, 4, 5 songs a day, as he said, that means we have almost, let's say an album is 9 to 15, 10 to 15 songs, a regular album, right? 10 to 15 songs, let's just say that average. And he has over 30 albums that unreleased. On every album there's gonna be at least one gem. We can say that, right? That means that there are at least 30 good, soul-stirring, classic Zero songs that we haven't heard. At least. That means there's at least 200 to 300 or more Zero songs that are available for. It's just I'm lost for words. Anyway, as I talk through it, it's hard for me to deny the fact that Zero could very well be the GOAT of Texas, even without the commercial wide acclaim. Again, I've never been anywhere where there wasn't a Zero fan. He has fans everywhere, and he's independent, and that can never be. We're not pocket watching, but Zero living very, very well. Now, another name worth mentioning, not quite a GOAT, but definitely a name worth mentioning, is Mr. 3-2. Heavy influential rapper. Started with Shortstop Records with Mike D and Scarface and Lil Troy. So he's a vet, longtime vet, and was very influential in shaping the sound of the West Coast along with DOC, with Snoop Dogg. He was very influential for Snoop Dogg's early influences, the baby, all the lingo, all the character and swag that you associate with Snoop Dogg notably came from Mr. 3-2. He was very influential in the conceptions and the creativity behind the Chronic and all that era. And this is all reported. It's all reported and documented. Mr. 3-2 is definitely a pioneer in the Texas rap game that needs to be mentioned. The governor, the boss, the wicked Buddha baby. You know what I mean? So that's another one. Just can't let that name die down at all. Now, just as a footnote, we're not gonna make any delusions about where San Antonio stands as far as the pecking order in Texas. We know, for the most part, you can say we're the little brothers. We're the ones that get overlooked for a lot of reasons, for a number of reasons. We're not gonna get into that. San Antonio hasn't had the biggest commercial wave consistently. We've had some flashes. Our claim to the throne, our biggest footnote, would be Lil Sin. And if we judging greatness by greatness, he was stamped, and he's been stamped and solidified by all the greats. Pimp C, love working with Lil Sin. Mama West even said so. Bun B has great respect for Sin. He was stamped by Kiki and 3-2. He's worked with Devin. He's worked with all the greats. And so if we judging greatness by greatness and getting that stamp of approval, getting the stamp of approval from Mike B, who was Scarface's producer, all of that, Lil Sin has to be nothing mentioned as a footnote in the Texas rap pantheon. We've had others. We won't go into all the names, Livola, Third Degrees, King Khalid, who's from Houston but rep San Antonio, all that, we just would be remiss if we didn't throw San Antonio's contributions into the discussion. But we know Houston and Dallas are the big dogs. Houston really is the mecca of Texas hip hop per se, But anyway, give me your thoughts, your opinions on everything. Comment, talk about what you like, talk about what you didn't like. Totally disagree with me. Tell me I'm stupid. Give me your opinion. I don't care. Just interact with me. Talk to me. I talk back. Peace and blessings.